What is up, everybody? I hope we're all doing well. Now, I'm in my bed right now. We're up in the cold. It's a cold place, so it's always nice to be warm. For me, I don't know, it's always comfortable to be in bed, but even when I'm getting my work done. So today, I'm going to be talking to you guys from my bed, and today I'm going to be talking about the distinguishment between happiness and pleasure, and how you should prioritize being happy over trying to find pleasure in your life. So I feel like there's a lot. So I feel like there's a lot of people who have their own ideas of what pleasure and happiness are. Some people don't even know what the difference is, but I am going to give my personal interpretation on what happiness and pleasure are. So what I think pleasure is, what I believe pleasure is I believe that pleasure is some sort of enjoyment or some temporary enjoyment that you might find in some sort of an instant gratification thing. So it's something you get from instant gratification. It doesn't really help you in the long run. It's not super beneficial. It's more just there for, when you feel um, hopeless and then you make a bad choice and you feel pleasure in the moment, but in the long run you realize you made a terrible mistake. um, that could be from any external source. It's normally not an internal thing. So let's say you are aiming to get really rich, right? And let's say one day you hit the lottery and you make it big because you hit the lottery, you won the lottery, and everybody starts liking you, and then you start getting a lot of attention from all these fake friends who just want to use you for your money. And then in that moment, you feel a lot of pleasure, because a lot of people are paying attention to you. There's a lot of people who want to interact with you. And a lot of them, it's because they want your money, and you have all this new money that you didn't really work for. You just won the lottery, you got lucky. So that's what I think pleasure is. It's more of an external thing. It's something that isn't really dependent on you as much, but it's more dependent on partially luck. No matter how successful you become, you can't force people to pay attention to you. You can't force the world to give you all the attention in the world, and fame isn't something that's always in your hands. Same thing as money. You can work for it, but there are always going to be times when there's a market crash or a market failure or a business failure, and you start noticing that you're losing a lot of your money. So that's the kind of thing that I believe pleasure is. Now let's talk about happiness. So happiness, what I believe happiness is a true internal satisfaction with yourself and an embracement of your entire life. So it's basically essentially where you don't let anything else impact you. No matter what happens, you feel that you are in a state of non-thinking or inner peace deep down inside. So people can say whatever the hell they want to you. Somebody can have a crappy day and it won't affect you at all. You can pass by somebody, you can say hi to them, they can ignore you, they can say hi, they can cuss at you, they can give you a weird look, but no matter what they do, it's not going to affect you, because deep down you're confident in yourself and you're embracing your life and you're embracing the happiness within you. So that's what I believe happiness is. Now let's talk about the importance of happiness over pleasure and why you should prioritize happiness instead of pleasure. So I feel like we live in a world where a lot of people tend to focus more on pleasure. They think they're people don't seem to understand that life is actually really freaking boring, and 99% of the time are you're going to be experiencing boring moments. That 1% might be when you're on a vacation and you're at a party, or you're doing something crazy like that, or you're finally graduating, and for that split second you feel this crazy rush of excitement that you haven't felt like before, and then right after everything becomes boring again, and you're like, okay, now I have to worry about college, and then I have to worry about getting a job. So 1% of it might be an actual pleasure, or like not pleasure, just like excitement or something really fun, but 99% of the time your life is going to be boring as shit. If you think about most of your school days, it's just wake up, go to school, sit in your classes, study, 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 study more, go home, do your sport, and then study more. You're pretty exhausted, you sleep, you might sleep late because you were up late studying or whatever the hell it is, and then you get your grade back, and in that split second you're happy, and the rest of your life is boring. And then when we feel that kind of boredom, it is actually a really painful feeling, because we feel empty inside and we feel like we don't have a purpose, or we feel like, what the hell are we even doing in this world? And because of that, we want to somehow feel fulfilled, but we make the wrong choice as a result. Instead of focusing on happiness and following our purpose or our true life's goal, we focus on things that provide us instant gratification and help us in forgetting everything around us. So let's say there's a lonely person. Let's say there's a person that they spend all their day. I don't know anybody like this. I'm just saying, like, let's say theoretically, I'm sure there's somebody in the world like this. There's somebody who's experiencing loneliness. Maybe his friends left him, and for a while, no matter what he can do, I don't know, that person just doesn't have friends. And then let's say eventually they give up on even interacting with people because for whatever reason they feel isolated and shy. So they start, they never interact with anybody. They start just laying down on the ground or in the room or on a couch, and they just start feeling sorry for themselves forever, and they don't know what to do with their lives. But instead of thinking about how can I get myself out of this mess and actually succeed in my life and get what I want, the most I want out of my life, they start suddenly thinking, how can I get out of this sudden pain that I feel? What can I do to instantly get myself out of it? And then they resort to drugs, smoking, jerking off, porn, whatever the hell it is. That's what 99% of people are like. But then the 1% of people, or the 2% of people in this world that succeed, they don't tend to focus on those things. They tend to focus on what actually matters. So when they are in those moments, they understand that it is really freaking painful, but they think about, what is it that truly matters? What is it that in the long run, despite the pain that it may bring me in this very moment, what is it that at the end of the day will bring me true satisfaction and true happiness within myself and within my whole life? And then they're able to better focus on what actually matters to them, their purpose, their goals. So if they are feeling bored or lonely or isolated or dull or empty in that moment, they can think, okay, what can I do right now that's actually productive as hell? What can I do that will actually help me and further my goals in my life? Maybe I could focus on something to make me money. Maybe if it's a weekend day and you have nothing to do, think, okay, what new skill could I learn? How could I get some money? What can I do to start making money? Okay, drop shipping is a thing. Oh, okay, investing is a thing. I never knew that. Oh, okay, maybe creating some sort of business. Or, okay, I feel like I'm not doing much. It's a Sunday. I don't know what to do. I normally don't do any sports. Okay, why don't I try to go to the gym and play basketball with my friends? Maybe you could start playing basketball more often, or ping pong, or pickleball, or whatever the hell it is. Pickleball might be a good one. It's getting really popular. But my point is that at the end of the day, there's happiness and pleasure, and you have to distinguish them from one another. And you have to understand that there is a silver lining and there's a major difference between these two things, and that pleasure is simply some sort of instant gratification that you might get from external sources that might make you feel like you're happy in the short run, but is not actually going to help you in the long run and bringing true internal happiness. And happiness is something that comes from within, you embracing your life, embracing yourself and your circumstances, and understanding that no matter what, nothing can affect how you feel. You feel that you have mastered your emotions, and you feel like you're constantly advancing with a sense of purpose. So that is my main message for the day, the distinction between happiness and pleasure, and why you should focus on happiness instead of pleasure. Thank you guys for listening to this video. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys will have a great rest of your night. Peace out.